All right, let me see if I can get the lighting right here so you people can see what I'm doing. How's everybody doing? Obviously, I am recording from my car. And the reason I do that is because it's like a little, it's like a sound booth, you know? Nobody can bother you. I think that's why people talk in their cars on the phone. But check this out. I want to have a little bit of conversation. It's a midweek powwow. Trying to get some more light in here. Waiting for people to keep joining us, because we are getting bigger and bigger. And people are joining us. Open up my sunroof here. Get some light from my garage. Look at there. Look at there. A little bit better. Okay. So I want to have this little powwow today, and I'm just going to be holding my camera here. And we're going to talk about why it's perfectly natural, and I mean perfectly natural, for humans to kill each other. This last week, a couple weeks ago, I was at the World Peace Conference. And at the World Peace Conference, somebody got very upset with me. Somebody got very upset with what I had to say. And so I thought, well, maybe it's more important that I say that more often. Because at this peace conference, these people aren't like us, generally. They're not like me, okay? They're not like, well, they want world peace. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think that'd be pretty fantastic. I don't think anybody can complain about that. But the problem is, I'm not a hypocrite. I can't stand up in front of these people and say, yeah, let's do that. Because I think it's total bullshit. I don't think we're ever going to have world peace so long as we have countries. So long as we have countries, we're not going to have world peace. Well, I'll describe this little scenario for you. This lady had. It's not dark in here, so I'm going to take... Every time I take these off, then I got to listen to it. So I'll just leave them on. But let me show you what I want to do. Check this out. Right here. See, I got this piece of paper, and I got these pens, and these are the colors I'm going to use, plus black if I haven't already lost it, and I'm going to explain to you guys on paper why killing humans is a completely natural act, and I'm going to use a situation in today's life, today's world, to explain how all this stuff is going to continue. It's perfectly natural. It's not going to stop anytime soon. So, back to the camera. Totally TBI'd what I did with my black pen. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, at the end of the day, every time I explain this conversation to people, and I explain what I saw at the World Peace Conference, and I explain the world situation, how long it's been going on, and the price of oil, and all these things that are going on right now, people start to pay attention. But I gotta, like, write notes and make diagrams. Otherwise, it's just beyond their freaking comprehension. But first, let me start out with this story. I'm at the World Peace Conference, right? And I'm supposed to be talking about warfighter issues. And I'm all down with that. I think that's really cool. I want to talk about the warfighter issues. All right. You lost the black, you know. Okay. Anyway. Can you guys see that? Somebody say something if they can't see my image and it's too dark. But I'll just keep talking. So my situation goes like this. This lady interrupts my speech and says, I came in late. I missed the beginning of what you were going to say. And you're talking about PTSD and veterans and warfighters. And I understand that it's completely unnatural for humans to kill one another. So shouldn't we think about the children in these foreign countries where our militaries invade? And if our soldiers, if our warriors are getting PTSD, what about the children? That's what she says. Well, I think that's really unfortunate about the children. But I had to tell her, very openly and honestly, ma'am, you missed the beginning of my speech. You would have understood more had you watched it from the beginning. When you talk about the children, I have a soft spot in my heart for children. Not a problem. Kids are great. Love them. Used to be one myself. But I have seen children throw Molotov cocktails at grown men with guns. I have seen children throw circular saw blades at men in gun trucks. I've watched children run down the street with AK-47s, shooting at people, or at least hiding guns. It's crazy. So this lady starts telling me all this stuff, and I said, ma'am, those children are not traumatized. Those children are trained. They're trained. They're not traumatized. When they're doing those things, they've been brainwashed by the militia for a long time. They're not traumatized. They think they're going to get into heaven for doing it. Yeah, they're earning salvation by killing us. That's the truth. So, I'm not really worried about those children. I'm worried about my children. And to address the issue of humans killing each other being an unnatural act, I think it's perfectly natural. I think it is so natural, it's been going on for about as long as we've been fucking each other. So sex and killing have been going on completely for about the same amount of time. And I think they're just as natural. The reason I think they're just as natural is because there's a pecking order. There's always a pecking order. See what I'm saying? Real simple logic here. Real simple logic. There's always a pecking order. You put two dogs in a room, one of them's going to be in charge. You put 3 horses in a pasture, one of them's going to be in charge. You put 10 men in a room in an uncivilized society, one of them is going to be in charge. That's just the way it goes. I don't make the rules. I just know what they are, and then I explain them to people. Not my rule. I just know what it is. So this situation isn't going to end for as long as there is a pecking order. And I'm sorry about other people's kids. Mine are theirs. I pick mine. Mine are going to live. Yours are going to live. And I'm sorry about for the way the rules are made on this planet. I didn't make them. I was just born into them. Just like you. So we can talk about this pie in the sky idea about peace. But all it is a fucking fantasy. Do you understand that? It is a motherfucking fantasy. It isn't going to happen. I'm sorry. Breaks my heart. Okay? And I'm the guy who's seen war. I would love there to be peace. I would love it. Everybody here would love it. It's not going to happen. Now, you want to talk about peace for the future. You know, we've been fighting this war in the Middle East for a minute now. For a great while now. And people want to say that, oh, well, okay, here comes a big history lesson. For those of you out there that think that the United States has enough oil to support itself, we don't need the rest of the world's oil, we can be energy independent, that's not the issue, okay? For those of you that think we can go green, it's not the issue. For those of you that think we can just level the Middle East, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen, okay? First one, becoming energy independent. It's not about the energy. It's not about the oil. It's about the money. Do you understand? Money. Money. Somebody wants to be in control of all petroleum products. The money. Okay? Because if you're in control of petroleum products, you're in control of everything else. Because a military cannot exist without petroleum products. So if you control oil, you control every military in the world. Okay? If you control oil, like the United States has for a number of years, you can look it up. It happened under the Nixon administration, where Nixon basically said, I'll tell you what, all you Arabs over there, you sell your oil, we'll protect your oil fields, and anybody that wants to buy it has got to buy it in dollars. That meant if, let's say, Canada wanted to buy oil, first they had to buy dollars before they bought oil. So we made a profit. See what I'm saying? So that's where this point of, okay, you think we can be energy independent? Not really. Iran tried to sell oil in something other than dollars, And what happened there? Huh? What happened? We invaded Afghanistan and Iraq. I'll explain why we did that later on. But the rule of this is you can't sell crack on somebody else's corner without getting shot. You can't. Iran tried to go sell crack on our corner. Shouldn't do that. Interferes with our profit. Now, also at this peace conference, I had to address the issue of killing for oil. Killing for oil. Here's all I have to say about killing for oil. Where do I have to do it and when do I have to be there? Because I don't care. I don't care. Why should I care? Because at the end of the day, that oil finances my country. You guys like all your entitlement programs? You like your social services? Well, our country has to make a profit. You see what I'm saying? Where do you think that America makes big profit at? By controlling oil. If we don't control oil and somebody else does, we're their bitch. Do you get that? We are their bitch. And that means they control our military. And how would you like your bread to be like $10 a loaf? How would you like gas to be so damn expensive you can't even afford a car? That'd be crazy, right? You wouldn't want that, would you? You'd think if we got to that point, somebody should have done something. That's what you'd think, wouldn't you? Well, what the fuck do you think we've been doing? Why do you think we've been fighting these goddamn wars? So you can afford fucking gas. So you can afford fucking bread. That's why we've been doing that. So if you don't like war, so be it. Enjoy yourself. Don't like war. But it ain't going away. And since you don't have to spend your ass sitting out there with a gun because you think it's so wrong and you're not up for it, why don't you take care of the people that are doing it? Because at the end of the day, they're doing it for you. And I don't give a damn whether you believe in war or not. I don't give a damn if you're liberal, you're conservative, Democrat, Republican, independent, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody benefits by what a warfighter does. Anywhere. Now, here's the other thing. Do I really care why my country sends me to war? No, I don't. Why? Because my country is defending itself. It's doing something to protect the organism. That's what they do. They protect the organism. The government is protecting itself. Because let's look at it this way. Now follow the logic here. It might go a little fast. If bread was $10 a loaf, okay? If gas was so expensive you could not own a car, which would affect a lot of things, would you start revolting against your government? Would you start telling them to go do something? Would you threaten to remove them? I'm guessing you probably would. I'm thinking there would be a lot of dissension in the country if that was the case, if those were the conditions of the environment. Well, our government doesn't want that. They want to pacify and control. That's their job with the American people. The government only has one job, pacify and control. That's it. That's it. When you get bills passed, it's because you're going to get, more people are going to get pissed off if you don't than will if you do. You see what I mean? Pacify and control. That's the job of the government. All governments, it's always been that way. It'll always be that way. It will never fucking change. Just like the pecking order. Never fucking change. That's the way it goes. I don't make the rules. I just know what they are and I explain them. It's exhausting to me. So we got the pecking order thing, right? We got the government protecting itself from dissension of the people because if our economy gets jacked up, we start revolting against the fucking government. They don't want that. So they're going to affect the change and the situation in other places to keep you comfortable. The most comfortable. The most amount of people comfortable. So they can continue to exist. That's the way it goes. I don't make the rules. I just know what they are and I explain them. So that's why I'm telling you that humans killing other humans is 100% natural. Every government, every society, every entity that's ever existed has done exactly what I'm telling you. It will always be that way. And if you don't have the stomach for it, appreciate the people willing to go do it and live with the aftermath in themselves. Since you didn't have the whatever it took, or just it wasn't convenient for you. Fine. Fine. You can have your way. But the rest of us, we don't care if you disagree with the war. We don't care if you hate veterans. We don't care if you hate the military. At the end of the day, we kind of own your ass. Because if we don't do it, you're fucked. You're fucked. Now, that is the long and the short of how the world motherfucking works. Okay? So I don't want to hear no more bullshit. Now you know. Or maybe you got to listen to the show on every Saturday, 9 to 12, 107.3 K News. That's my show. My little commercial. So what? I'm a little greedy today. I told you about it. But over here, I've got a piece of paper. So I can explain the situation going on right now and why you should all gear the fuck up for another war. Okay? Because it's going to happen. And I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to explain to you the Weinberger Doctrine. Okay? The Weinberger Doctrine. This is kind of like part 2 of this lesson. The Weinberger Doctrine came out after Vietnam and says the U.S. will not engage in any foreign war without U.S. public support. It doesn't say they have to tell you the truth to get public support. It just says they need to get public support. Why? That dissension thing again. A lot of public dissension during the Vietnam War caused a lot of problems for the government. So they want to pacify and control. See what I'm saying? Happens over and over and over again. So this Weinberger Doctrine basically says, hey, before you go to war, make sure everybody's pacified and control. Okay, the war in Iraq. Why did we go to war in Iraq? And Afghanistan at the same time. Remember that. Well, it's because some stuff was being done over there, and it was pretty crazy. And if you wanted to explain it to people in truth, well, it probably would not gain U.S. public support. So the government has to come up with another explanation. Why? Because a lot of you stupid motherfuckers out there get their news from memes. That's why. That's how brilliant you are. Do you think I want to trust you with foreign policy if you get your news from memes? Fuck no. Wouldn't do it. Anybody who did do it would be stupid. Because it's not practical. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I just know what they are and I explain them. So, before we go to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, we've got to get your public support. Did they lie to you? Fuck yeah, they lied to you. Did they know there were weapons of mass destruction there? Yes, they did know. Why? Because they fucking sold them to Saddam when he was fighting Iran. Remember, Iran's the enemy. So we knew they were there. That's why the government never actually officially fucking found them, because if they did, the shit would go back to governments probably before Reagan or during Reagan's time, and every fucking president since then has known they've been there. That's why we didn't bring home any weapons of mass destruction. We blew the shit up on the battlefield, and I don't know. It got reported in secondary and third source systems. I put it in my book. I reported on it in 2010 from a document I found from 2000, an official Army document, Army memo from 2003. So this stuff is real. There really were weapons of mass destruction there, but we didn't go there for that. We went there. I'll show you this. Pay attention. We're going to the paper. It's education time. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to explain something to you that's the real deal, or pretty close to it as I see it, or maybe I'm just full of shit and you won't believe me at all. But you know what? I'm fucking thinking, and I bet you when I'm done, you're going to go, aha, now I understand. Okay, if you told the American people what I'm about to tell you, they would have never gotten public support. It wouldn't have happened. It would have been impossible. So they came up with something very simple and emotional, like, they're going to drop chemicals on you and burn your flesh. Well, who the fuck wants that? Nobody. Okay, pretty much, it's a pretty easy thing to sell, right? Pretty goddamn smart. Thank you to the PSYOP world. That's how that stuff happens. Quick public support, okay? Would you have done it if you were a government? Would you do it if you were president? Fuck yeah, you would, because you know what's at stake. And you know you don't trust people that get their news from memes with foreign policy. That would be stupid. But what was really going on? Really? Because I still don't have a moral problem with it at all. I think it makes total freaking sense. I would have been the guy who said, yeah, let's still go to war if somebody would have told me the truth. Because the government is going to protect itself. Why? Because if they don't control the conditions of other places, it affects the U.S. economy, which will put pressure on the government. And they don't want that. They want to keep doing what they do. And y'all stay just happy with your 46-inch fucking flat screens and shut the fuck up. Because that's what really happens. Now let me explain to you. I'm going to do it not very artistically. I'm going to flip the camera around. You're going to look at my diagram. Here we go. Pay close attention. Here we go. See the pen? I'm going to write with the pen. But first, this advertisement from Tipping Point with Boone Cutler. Pretty fucking cheesy, I know. But goddamn. If I was smart, I would have sold t-shirts. Made a profit by now. Okay, you see this box? See if I can do this without fucking it up. This is a box. Okay? Very important box. This is another box. See that? Here comes the riddle. This, other boxes, right? Here's another box over here. Here's the riddle. If this box, green, attacks this box, but if you attack the green box back, the big green box attacks you, what do you do? Okay? So let me make it simple. If the problem is this box attacks this box can't attack the box back because this box will fight this one. So what do? You block this box in, right? Because if you touch this, then you got to fight these two. Fight one bean, fight the whole burrito. That's the way it goes. Okay? If you're from Southern California, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right here. Okay? This is Iraq. Right here. This is, let's make it simple, Afghanistan. Pretty simple, right? This right here, USA. Pretty simple, right? Gee, who are those other people? What entities are those? This one is called Iran. See that? That's Iran. This one up here, this one's called Russia. Okay? The green guys are allies. Okay? The United States has an ally too. Who are they? There are these folks down here. Ooh. Saudi Arabia. That's our ally. Okay? It's kind of worked this way for a while now. So, when this country, Iran, decided to sell oil in the off market, they were fucking up with our economy. Completely fucking our economy. Guess what? We can't go invade and kick Iran's ass, so what do? We come up with a reason to invade Afghanistan and Iraq so we can block them in. And then we hit Iran with a bunch of fucking sanctions and try and starve them to death. Why? So these guys don't want to fight us. That's what happened. That's why we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. Do I have a problem with it? No, I don't have a problem with that. Makes a lot of sense. Because I want my country safe. And all these guys are always going to be fighting with each other anyway. It's the way it happens. I'm sorry it's that way. I don't make the rules. I just explain them. Okay? So here's our situation now. We're allies with these guys. they're allies with those guys. And all these little countries over here, you know, Syria, okay? They're close together, they're like this, okay? Syria, we gotta look. Syria is friends with Iran. If we attack Syria, Russia attacks us, Iran attacks our allies, and so does Syria. We're trying to avoid this thing right here. This is a really bad fight. But at the end of the day, the fight is these guys and these guys trying to control this area. You understand me? This guy and this guy are trying to control this shit. Because this shit controls everybody's military. Controls everybody's economy. If you can make $1 off of it, why you control it. That's the situation. And I think there's going to be a big fucking war coming now. I think there's going to be a big fucking war coming because it's all up for grabs now. Okay? It's all up for grabs. That's why you're seeing oil plummet. That's why you're seeing Iran sell the fuck out of some oil right now. Crazy shit's happening. I don't know all the details, but I know that much. And that much is how much I'm basing my information on. That much is how much I'm basing how I make my decisions. Because we're going to fight that damn war. On a big scale, on a little scale, and I think it's going to be a pretty big scale. And if you don't like war, I'm sorry. Do you like bread costing $10 a loaf? Do you want milk to cost $20 a gallon? Do you want gas to cost so much you can't afford to own a car? What would that do to your life? What would that do to your family? Think of all the second and third effects, order of effects that would happen if those things occurred. How many jobs would be lost? How many people would go hungry? How many of you would revolt? Completely revolt against the government. I'm thinking a lot of people would revolt against the government if all that was going on. So the government's not going to allow that to happen. They're going to pacify and control you, and they're going to go to war. They're going to fight other people so they can stay in charge. And so all the social services in America can stay intact, and everything will keep running and working. So I'm very, very sorry if you don't like war. I'm very sorry if you don't think killing people is completely natural, because it is. And it's not going to stop. And I'm thinking for those that really detest it all, you should really appreciate the people willing to go do it so you don't have to. That's the long and the short of it. If you want to know more, listen to the show every Saturday, 9 to noon. Find out details right here or go to BooneCutler.com. Got some links there from old shows. Get caught up. I'm Boone Cutler, host of Tipping Point with Boone Cutler. This is the kind of stuff we talk about. Why don't you make it part of your conversation? That's all I got to say. God bless you. All the way. Make it happen. Learn to cope. Get off the dope. Take the Spartan pledge. My warfighter needs to be healthy. My warfighter community needs to be healthier. All the way. Make it happen.